Assalamu alaikum. My name is Alrefaei Taghreed, and today I shall be talking on the topic of gender dysphoria among gender transition individuals with the brother Ahmed and sister Nadiya. Firstly, I shall begin with the aim of our study, which shall be mainly focusing on to raise awareness on the issue of transgender and individuals who are going through the sex change surgery, also due to gender dysphoria. And the second aim of our study is to educate people on this matter and also to show the other side of the LGBT community, which the media does not always openly show to the public. The other part of our study is to ask certain pressing questions with the matter at hand. Firstly, we need to understand what are the problems that transgender face. Secondly, why transgender are facing issues even after having a sex change surgery. Thirdly, why does the media and the LGBT community not talk on this issue more openly? And lastly, what all can be done in order to educate people in this matter and help people going through such problem. Here, we look at a pie chart which gives us a brief understanding of what transgender who even go through sex change surgery are facing. We can see that about 20% of the transgender have regret after going through the surgery, and around 40% have attempt to commit suicide because the problem they are facing still do exist, and the other 40% as dealing with issues such as depression, anxiety, and have problem coming out into the public regarding such issues. Now when we look at gender dysphoria, what is exactly its meaning and what is it defining? It can be explained as a feeling which is filled with discomfort and being in distress to the people who feel they differ in their gender identity based on the gender which was assigned to them at birth. They also feel differently in terms of their gender characteristics because it feels more relatable to the other gender. Transgender and other gender non-conforming people would usually encounter such problem in their life. On to the next speaker.
Let's now dive headfirst and look at the examples of celebrities who have been open about their gender reassignment surgery. Many famous personalities all over the world tend to undergo the gender transition surgery, and due to this, they are put into a spotlight. One very good example is the Belgian-born American YouTuber Nikita Dragun, who has amassed a total of 14 million followers all through her social media handles, that is Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. She has been open about her gender reassignment surgery, and due to this, we can see that many celebrities all over the world have a cult following, and people tend to lend their support to the transgender community. People who are facing gender dysphoria may go through various issues even after transitioning to their preferred gender. At the end of the day, if one was to look at bodily issues, many times it does not have much to do with a person's gender. It could just be not liking their body and having low self-esteem. Many transgenders who go through the gender reassignment surgery still do have feelings of uneasiness and are still diagnosed with depression. They still live with the dysphoria, and many transgenders are afraid of speaking out about this as they are afraid of being shunned from their community. People who are transgender face many problems in their day-to-day lives. For example, they are looked down upon, they are shunned, and are also cast away from the community. They are bullied and not even offered jobs solely for the way they are. In extreme cases, they also get assaulted and abused because of their lifestyle. The LGBT community stands much in favor for the trans people and demands their rights and to stop abuse against them. There are parades which are done especially with the rise of such issues, where people essentially come out and admit that they are transgender, which they would not before due to the fear of being treated differently.
It is necessary for us to understand that the LGBT community has a major impact on its people, on the people they are targeting, and the people around them. Now, as you see in the posters here itself, where there are people who are saying that I love my transgender child, let's ask ourselves a logical question here. Children are people who do not have their mental capacity fully developed yet. Their brain is still processing. Biologically, they don't have the capability to comprehend complex issues. And the topic of gender itself is a complex issue in itself. So for people to say that a small child feeling as if they are a transgender is certainly very illogical. Many might consider this to be an offensive thing to say, and it's transphobic in nature. But scientifically, a child is not able to understand these matters. And to promote these ideas by saying, oh, coming out and saying that I'm a transgender and my child is a transgender and they're proud to be, it's certainly not because they agree to it, but because they're being influenced by the environment they're living in. And the impact that the transgender community has on these kids, it's a series of events which will lead to a chain reaction of them either being bullied or having gender dysphoria, or to, even after going through the sex change surgery, still feeling depressed and still feeling the gender dysphoria. And what came to raise awareness on is these issues, which is the impacts that LGBTQ community has, but does not take accountability for what it leaves in its aftermath with the people who are feeling depressed, who have come out with their sexual orientation, but are still going through various problems. And these are the issues we wish to tackle and raise awareness from. As you can see, this individual here named Walt here, who was the person who went under the gender reassignment surgery in the year 1991, and he lived as a woman for 8 years, but he felt like none of his issues were being solved. He still felt gender dysphoria, he still felt depression and anxiety, and there were many issues he was facing. And then he went on to transition after being a woman for 8 years. Now, due to his personal experiences, he claims that wanting to change your gender is simply not possible. It is a mental illness, in fact, based on the words of Walt here. He also suggests that we need to raise awareness on such matters and stop people from doing this. Hence, he's also the founder of the website called Sex Change Regret, where he tries to reach out to people and is an activist in the transgender community, where he tries to stop people from going through this process, because it might change your anatomy, but you will still feel mental issues such as gender dysphoria. You will still go through depression and still might go through various problems which cannot be solved. It's all about taking therapy and coming to terms with your problems. And these are the issues we wish to raise and educate people upon and raise awareness on. And that is all from us. Thank you.